This is your latest Manchester United transfer news, and things are hotting up. What a day in the transfer window. We're talking about Carrick's next signing. And I think I do want to delve in on who's Carrick's next signing. I don't know whether it's going to be Tchouaméni. I know there's people out there begging for it to be him. I think if you watch France, he's perfect for our system. You know, if you watch France, they've got really good attacking players, and he just sits there, protects the back four, better than Casemiro ever could, because Casemiro was never prime with us. He's perfect for what we need. He is a number 6. What worries me is that the profile of players that United were going for were not a number 6. So you've got to follow the evidence. Mateus Fernandes, not a 6. Anderson, not a 6. Mainu, not a 6. For whatever reason, sometimes you've got to follow not necessarily what you want, but what's happening in front of you. United weren't looking for a 6. They were going for an 8. So I don't know what the plan was there, but, you know, that's what we were looking to do. With Tchouaméni, I said this to you way before anybody else, because I know it's from the player side. He will come to Manchester United. We don't need Rio to ring him up. We don't need United to persuade him. He will come to Man United. He literally will be that guy who wants Man United. So we don't need to, you know, I think sometimes you do need to persuade players. I ain't got a problem with that. We don't need to persuade Tchouaméni. If Real Madrid want to sell him, he wants to come to Manchester United. So it's there. The feedback is, yet again, we don't want to pay. So that's going to be the barrier. But that's been the barrier with everybody. Diamonde, Semenyo, Tonali, Anderson, Fernandes. It's the same barrier that we need to jump. It's the fee. It's not the player, it's the fee. If we'd have matched Spurs, Fernandes would be wearing a Man United shirt. If we paid for Tonali, he'd be wearing a Man United shirt. If we'd gone toe-to-toe with Man City, maybe he'd have wore a Man City shirt, but maybe he'd have wore a Man United shirt. So with Tchouaméni, it comes down to whether we want to pay. And that is simply the most important thing.
What Ben Jacobs was saying was Manchester United, who have already been talking to Alex Scott and continuously talking to him over the last week. We know this for definite because The Athletic have also been saying exactly the same thing. Romano obviously is just holding off a little bit at the moment from what I've seen and what he's been saying in his reports. So again, Man United moving on Scott, I think, is sensible because he's that Prem-proven player. He's got more experience in the Premier League than what Fernandes has got. He's a different player to Fernandes. And United need something a bit different. United probably need that quality of player, that composure on the ball, that press-resistant type of player who can drive forward, score goals, glide past players in that midfield. You could say that Tchouaméni can also do that, but Alex Scott is different to Tchouaméni, I feel. He's an 8 up-and-down player again. And this is how Michael Carrick likes to play. We've got the defensive player who you would want to bring in Edison. Do we go out and get another 8 and then another 6 on top of that? That's the interesting thing now where United go with the players that are available. Looking at who is available, what I reckon in terms of players obviously on Manchester United's radar now, there's still quite a few there. Going from the bottom, you'll have the likes of Stiller and Sangare, who are in Germany and France. Obviously got Felix Metscher also in Germany as well, who's been linked to Manchester United heavily. Germany out of the World Cup. Now, could that move now start to gather momentum? You've got the links with Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell there on Felix Metscher. Is that the right way to go for Manchester United? Then, of course, you move into the Premier League. You've got the likes of Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba. You've got Alex Scott there. You've got quite a few players. And the big one, of course, on top of all of them is the ultimate transfer of Aurélien Tchouaméni. That's who I see being available right now. Let's get into the comment section on this. I think what's being said for most Man United fans that I've seen online is that, yes, it's annoying that we've missed out. Yes, we could have spent more money. But are there still players as good as Fernandes in this market? Yes, they are. It's not the end of the world. It's definitely not over for Man United this transfer window. This is a big disappointment. And now we're looking at the next potential target for United. This is obviously, though, and I'm not going to try and swerve around the obvious of United missing out on players. This is now getting really, really serious because we are running out of players. And if United's approach is the same as Fernandes, if anybody else is bidding for any of our other targets, fans are right to worry about this happening again, because there's plenty of money out there in the Premier League. We have just seen this. Other clubs that are not in Europe have an extra advantage where they can spend more, like Spurs can at the moment, because they're not hampered by financial fair play rules with UEFA, which are a lot more tighter and stricter. So this is what United need to be aware of. And this is the mistake I'm talking about, why I said it in the title. United cannot assume that players are going to go to United just off the back of the power of United. They have to do a little bit more. And yes, where we want players to come to United and want to be part of this and really want to be part of the project, only want Manchester United. I get that, I do. You cannot expect other clubs to not attempt to come in and bid. And when you've got big super agents like George Mendes, you are always going to struggle when you're dealing with agents like that. And the deals that are on the table for other clubs to do are probably going to be more lucrative than what Man United are going to offer. I think what we're all saying here is, and what I think as well, is that, yes, United have got other options there. There are other good players there, better than Fernandes, better than Sandro Tonali still in this market. I would say better than Elliot Anderson. It's Tchouaméni out of, for anyone who's asking there, who I think is better. If United signed him, then he's better than any of them three players for me. I think he is. It's if United can get him. That's the big problem with that one. We'll move on to Tchouaméni in a minute, but don't waste any more time. Please, United, don't drag these deals out again. Learn the lesson of being stung and being stung big time by this, and go out now and just get something done. They have to move quickly, is the way I'm looking at it right now. We cannot dwindle, we cannot ponder and think that we are in control of transfers. It doesn't work like that. The Premier League is a powerhouse. Last summer definitely worked for Manchester United, and that method needs to be used again, but you might have to adapt it. You have to be able to adapt it. If we're too happy to say that Ruben Amorim should have adapted his style, then maybe Manchester United's ownership model, yeah, work with what you've got and do with what you know works best from the past. But if you have to adapt and move a little bit, you're going to have to. It goes for the whole club. You have to move with the times. Overspending, I think, is a recipe for disaster for this football club. I think it really is. And I'm with that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Give the video a like on the way out. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. I'll have everything covered, and I will bring you into each one of these conversations. Don't you worry about that. And thank you, everybody, again, for all the super chats, mods. I'll see you all later on.